Ignaris fans, I've got some big news. The wait is finally over, and 2025 is bringing some major updates to the game. Kickstarter, updated rules, a new Sparr system, a brand new expansion set, and more. Let's start with the biggest news. Ignaris TCG will officially be moving off the Game Crafter and onto the official Ignaris website. As some of you know, I recently moved and money's been really tight, but I've decided it's time to take Ignaris to the next level, printing and selling my own products and eventually going full-time as a TCG creator. Here's the plan. I'll be printing cards in bulk through a manufacturer, and since most of you are in the US, I'll be using a fulfillment center there to keep shipping costs down. That way, the game stays more affordable for you guys. Things could change as I go, but that's the direction I'm heading. It's going to take some work, but I've got full faith in this game, and in you guys, the community, for supporting it. And that's why I'm announcing an Ignaris TCG Kickstarter, featuring both Set 1 and a brand new expansion set. Since the original Game Crafter launch, a lot of you have helped me catch balancing issues and wording improvements, so Set 1 is being re-released with updated card effects, cleaner templates, and better wording, especially for multiplayer. On top of that, I'll be adding a whole new 50 card expansion set designed to fill in the gaps of Set 1 and make deck building a lot easier and smoother. Set 1 will now be rebranded as Ignaris Fierce Mutations with a fresh logo, and the expansion set name will be EchoSpawn, also with a new logo. The updated template will have small but important tweaks like bigger stat numbers and clear elements so it's easier to read during gameplay. Now let's talk gameplay. I've got something you can actually start testing out right now, a new board layout and a new way of playing Sparr. Sparr has always been a big part of the lore, but in gameplay it felt a little underused, so now there's a Sparr Pile system. Instead of charging Sparr immediately when you draw it, you'll place it into your Sparr Pile. Then when you want to summon an entity, you can move Sparr from the pile into your charge zone. It works the same as before. If your Sparr level is high enough, you can summon any entity within that range, but now you have way more control over your Sparr instead of being at the mercy of random card draws. And here's where it gets interesting. When one of your entities dies, you can actually pay its death cost with Sparr from your Sparr Pile to re-summon it on the field. You'll send that Sparr to the graveyard, but don't worry, cards like Conjure can bring it back. Of course, when your entity dies, you'll still nullify your charge Sparr, but this new system adds layers of strategy on how you can manage your pile. I'm also brainstorming an Overcharge or a Supercharge mechanic where you can attach Sparr from your pile directly to entities for special boosts or effects. I haven't finalized what those boosts will be yet, so you can drop your suggestions in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. Next, we have some quick keyword changes to make Ignaris more unique and easier to learn. Rarities will now be Common, Prime, Golden, and Ancient. This clears up some confusion since rare wasn't really rare in the first place. It was more of an uncommon than anything. Attaching a symbiote to an entity is now called mutating. Fits perfectly with the theme of fierce mutations and makes gameplay feel cooler. Weakness symbols on entities will now be called seals. Your opponent has to break your seals with the right entity types to drop your HP to its weakened value. Nullifying your Sparr is now called Drain. Shorter, cleaner, and easier to call out mid-match. The act of destroying an entity and sending it to the graveyard is now Slay, while attacking or destroying a life card is now called Shatter. Instead of saying, I'll kill your entity and attack your life card, you can now simply say, I'll slay Golemite and Shatter for turn. And finally, engaging your entity is now called Exert. It better reflects how your entity remains in an exhausted state after attacking, leaving it unable to defend your life cards. Disengaging is now called Resurge, as well as the refresh phase, which is now called the Resurge phase. Sounds cooler and less syllables. I'm also playing around with the idea of changing ability cards to another cool term, but if you guys have any other ideas for keywords that can be improved, be sure to leave your suggestions in the comments. If you want a sneak peek at what's coming, check out my Sketch to Monster live streams. Some of those designs are already being turned into cards for the new expansion. Huge things are happening for Ignaris this year. Stay tuned, make sure you're subscribed, and drop your thoughts in the comments, especially about the Supercharge mechanic. Thank you all for your support. I'll see you in the next one.